Appearance is one of the cornerstones of character design, and while it may seem simple to write a basic character description, the complexities of sci-fi can make it much more challenging. What does the character species look like? How do they incorporate technology? Perhaps they have blue fur or nanotech clothes. Where to begin describing a world unlike any other? Hi, I'm Casey Hudson and I write sci-fi novels. For my novels, character appearance encompasses everything from physiological attributes and clothing to demeanor, and a few things in between. Let's explore how I approach character design in a not-so-human world. It's common to think of the basics when approaching character description. Red hair, brown eyes, thin. Those baseline descriptions are important no matter the species, but the average person's default when hearing these descriptions is human. In this case, I was describing a Pawunga from my Drifting Amalgams universe. Similar to humans, sure, but definitely closer to orangutans. So where do I start with character descriptions of non-humans? The most obvious baseline is biological shape, in this case, primates. When writing this, I may have a character of another species give a character description. For instance, a Tadari Bray may think, she's a primate of average size. While this doesn't give a precise sense of the Pawunga shape and size, it does give a relative idea for the reader to envision. To document this for world building, I look at initial impressions. What biological shape is the character most closely aligned with, be it avian or primates, and in what ways does the character's shape differ from the standard? For this example, I'll describe a Tentive, a Pawunga character who has a non-standard shape. With a height that's 50% greater than average, but a weight that's only 9% greater, a Tentive is considered lean, especially in a military society full of fit soldiers. More striking, though, is the appearance of one average length arm and one arm half that length. In a society that uses the signing language as its official means of communication, complex motions are requisite. However, an official abridged version has been designed for veterans who have lost the ability to employ a full range of motion. A Tentive's uneven arms force him to communicate with the veteran's adapted sign language. As you can see, I've created writing notes on my character appearance worksheet. These remind me of ways I can approach my character description from a narrative and world-building perspective, rather than using exposition alone. In real life, I'm unable to see finer details, so I often forget to describe them as part of a character's appearance. I have to include clothing, accessories, and makeup on my character sheets because they're an almost literal blind spot for me. It also helps for me to think of these details in a broader context. Yes, a person may wear bright clothes or jewelry that clangs. They may have makeup that brings out their natural beauty. All of these details are worthy of note, but for me, the more significant thing is what these personal choices say about the character. Perhaps they wear bright clothes because they want to be a bright spot in the lives of others. Maybe they wear noisy jewelry because they want attention. Understated makeup may convey self-confidence. I like to use these details to create character depth, looking at how the character's clothing, accessories, or makeup is perceived. Maybe outdated clothes cause the character to seem old, or a character with simple adornments is perceived as low maintenance. And just as important, is the interpretation of the character's appearance accurate? Looking at Sage, a Pentaparty female, you'll note that I've described her as having utilitarian and loose-fitting clothing with ample pockets. These clothes are in muted blues and grays that don't draw attention. This gives her a no-nonsense appearance, which matches her pragmatic approach to life. As for accessories, Sage wears nano cuffs in a matte metallic coloring, and the control panel for her nanotech clothes has a watch design that shows the local time, no matter what planet she's on. Additionally, her nanotech clothes are designed to protect against common off-world issues such as temperature variation and UV exposure. This is another nod to Sage's no-nonsense appearance. Wearable nanobot controllers can be as attention-getting as faceplates or as inconspicuous as a wrist cuff. Similarly, nanotech clothes are aligned with the wearer's personal comfort levels. Not only does the plainness of Sage's clothing and accessories suggest a practical approach to life, but it underscores how important it is that she has functional clothing when she's working as an off-world technician. It's easy to forget demeanor when looking at character description. How a character stands or walks, what their body language says about them. These are all important cues that many of us subconsciously notice in everyday life. So, what can I do to infuse these ideas into a narrative? Think body language, body movement, and manner of speech. What do you think about someone who utilizes a large vocabulary? What about an accent? How do you interpret fast jerk emotions or crossed arms? And here's a tricky one. Can someone's habit of giving a polite amount of personal space be considered a snub by people of different cultures? This is where I start looking at whether a character's body language, body movement, or speech is culturally learned. How is their demeanor interpreted within their culture versus outside of it? Looking back at the example of Sage, her body language is neutral. It always suggests an appropriate amount of interest in any given task or person. Her movements are deft and purposeful, and her speech is quick, often clipped. Her accent suggests a region with few species besides Pennaparty. This last piece of description is very important. That Sage is from a region that is mostly Pennaparty means that her culture is going to have a strong effect on her demeanor. Since many Pennaparty cultures are known for being restrained and given to long periods of solitude, it makes sense that her demeanor is reserved. However, more demonstrative cultures are likely to perceive her demeanor as standoffish. In this way, character description and character design can be much more than physical appearance. Until next time, stay inspired.